welcome back to my channel. Today I will be filming you mummy must-haves. It doesn't matter if it's for your first, second, third, fourth child, but these things were very useful for me and it probably will be to you as well. Now, these things literally saved my life. It's not in any particular order, but I'll just grab one and tell you about them. So, the first thing is something like this. So I'll go a bit back to show you. There you go. Basically, it's like a pocket, like Kangaroo Pocket. So what my mum brought this was for after delivery, so they can like put the baby in there so it's nice and warm and cozy and snuggly. And what I use it for is I turn it around to this flat surface and I put it on top of his crib, so it's nice and soft and it's thick, so that's how thick it is, and it's nice and soft. His crib is very hard, so when we put this on top, it's nice and soft and he sleeps well on it. So this thing was actually very good for me, and sometimes, well, most of the times, Derin is always downstairs with us in the sitting room, so instead of putting him on the sofa just like that, we put this on top of the sofa and then put him on it. He doesn't like his swing or bouncer, whatever you call it, so he's always on the sofa lying on his back on this, which is perfect, and I totally love it. And I actually told my mum why she never brought any more of this, because she brought this from Turkey, so, and you can't really find anything like this over here. But this was one thing. Second thing, now I did not buy this before I gave birth to Derin, because Derin was end of March baby and I thought that it's going to be spring, hot, so he won't need a pram suit. But instead, you know, I do live in England, in London, and it's very cold here, so it's always been raining and just cold, and I brought this basically. It's a very soft white pram suit. I brought it from Mothercare and this is what it is, and I think that this is a definite must have. If you have a newborn that's very fragile to touch, to hold, they do need to be dressed up kind of thick so you can handle them. Luckily, my baby was a very big baby, a 12-pound baby. I didn't really need to wrap him up in so much blankets and so much stuff. For those who do have a very fragile tiny babies, you do need one of these to bring your baby back home with. You know, even not just that, if you want to take them out, you know, fresh air is important. So now I've got this and I totally love it. I used to dress Derin up in just like a cardigan, and then I used to feel bad because it used to be windy, but this protects him because it's like all in one, so he doesn't catch any cold. It was only, what, £22, but you can tell it's very quality, and if you wash it well, maybe I can use it for number 2. Who knows? Next one is, again, something that literally saved my life. It's this nursing pillow. Now, I've already mentioned this in my breastfeeding essentials, so if you haven't still seen that, I'll put a link at the top and you can go and watch this. This has saved my life. Now, for the first month after delivery, I couldn't use the nursing pillow at all, only because I had a C-section and I still had the big tummy that didn't go away for a very long time in the first month, so I couldn't really put this around my belly. And then after the first month, when I was more able to sit properly and hold him properly, then I realized and I remembered that I actually brought a nursing pillow, and then I started using this and I was like, oh my god, relief. Like, this literally saved my life. Babe, you just ruined it. Babe, ignore him.
I love you.
Me too. Go. So guys, it's not that expensive. I think it's between like 15 to 25 pounds. Go and buy this if you are planning to breastfeed, because it's very, very important. And also what I use this for as well, not only for breastfeeding, but if he wants to sleep on my arm, which he does, Derin, like he doesn't sleep in his crib. His morning naps are always in my arm. So it will be like this, and then he will be on top of there, so his back will still be flat and he's having a nice, cozy, snuggly sleep time. Oh, one more important thing. Derin also has minor reflux, so what we do is after feeding time, put this on the sofa and then lie him down like this way, so his head would be here and his back will be like this, so he would be resting on this. When I encourage him to have like TV time when I'm cleaning the house or getting ready, I also do the same thing, so he watches TV or listens to music while he's nicely flat on this and he's basically enjoying his time. I love it, I love it, I love it, and it is a must-have. Next thing that I'd like to talk about is toys. Now Derin is currently 2 months old, but I bought these when he was about 4 weeks or 5 weeks, I can't really remember. But toys are essential because especially now after a month old, they can actually look closer to you. So he loves all this shaky and the colours. And Derin especially, he moves his hand and his arms a lot. So these were very good because that goes around his wrist, and these go, these are like a sock, so you put them as a sock, and he constantly shakes them. Basically, toys are must have too, and especially, there's a black and white book. It's high contrast book and they totally love it. So it's something like this, there's different colours and it's high contrast. And it's perfect. What I do sometimes when I do have activity times with him, because they just look blank basically the first few weeks. So I put this book, I used to put this very close to his face, about 15-20 centimeters, so it would be like this. And then he would look at it, he will actually stare at it. It develops their eye development and brain development. So go ahead and buy yourself a black and white high contrast book because it's a mummy must have. Next one I'd like to talk about is Lanzino Sore Nipple Cream. This literally saved my life too. If you go and watch my breastfeeding experience, you would know what I'm talking about, but this was a very essential, it's a mummy must have. If you are planning to breastfeed and breastfeeding is the best for your child, I suggest you go and buy any kind of nipple cream. Don't say that you won't need it. The first time they latch on, it is going to hurt. But if it has a continuous hurt, then that means it's not latched on properly and you do need a cream. So I loved Lanzino's make, it's perfect, I love it. Next is Sudocrem. Now I brought Weleda nappy cream, but luckily Derin did not need to use that much because he only had sore bum once. Lucky for water wipes, which I'll discuss in a bit, but Weleda nappy rash cream wasn't as good as I wanted it to be basically, and I tried Sudocrem. Sudocrem took the took the redness straight away. Sudocrem definitely must have for anything. Like, this is an emergency saver, you know, it's a lifesaver. Next, water wipes. Now this water wipe is the best wipes ever. It is a bit pricey compared to other wipes, but it's the best. If you don't want them to have a sore bum, you know, go for water wipes. They are £2.40, but if you get them on discount, sometimes they're £2. If you get the saver deals at Boots, they're like 4 for £9. What I did with this is I also washed his face with it, or his bottom, and also I took this to the hospital too, so I didn't really use cotton pads at first. I just used water wipes because it's completely water. It's 99.9 water, 0.1 food extract, and it's brilliant, you know, it's the best. Talking about cotton wools and cotton pads, these are must have too. Like, you always, especially these ones, you always need. Like, Derin has sore eyes because of his tear ducts, so every morning I'll have one and just clean his eye area with these. You always need these, and you can buy any cheapy ones. Like, these are from Tesco and that's from Boots, so any cheap cotton pads will do. It's a must have. I would like to talk to you about something that I've recently brought, and I think everyone should have it if you are, again, planning to breastfeed. This is called a nursing apron, and it's something like this. So it's just like a fabric like this, and it has this little thing where you put this around here like this, and so you can see from here, you can have a look from here and have the baby there for your breastfeeding. I brought this because I work and sometimes I'm on the go always, so sometimes I need to feed him outside, in the car, over there, here, so I had to buy something like this. In my house we do have a lot of like family that come over, so, and I don't want to like come upstairs every time I'm breastfeeding him, so this is nice when everyone's there. I'm just there as well breastfeeding, and it's good, you know. You can even make one yourself. When I saw this, I thought I could have actually made one myself, because all you need is a long piece of fabric and just 2 straps over here. I have a Grow Egg room temperature. My husband brought this because he thought that it was also a bright light. Now it does say that on the box. It says that it has the light and the temperature. If you are planning to buy this for the temperature, go ahead, it's best, like it's perfect. At the back it has the color key. Basically it brightens up, so if it's red it's too warm, if it's orange it's warm, if it's yellow it's recommended temperature, which is 16 to 20 degrees, and if it's blue it's too cold. So we brought this because I was very panicky at first when Derin first came in. I didn't know how hot or cold the room was, so I told him to go buy one just in case. We also needed a Nightlight, so he brought this thinking it's 2-in-1, but if you're buying this for the Nightlight, don't, because it's very crap. But if you are buying for the temperature, go ahead, it's actually very, very good. This was an essential for me, but it may not be for you. As a first time mum, I was very panicky and I didn't know how to dress him, and also the midwives and the health visitors kept saying that the room temperature had to be between 16 to 21 degrees, but and then I realised that 16 to 20 degrees, that's actually very cold, you know. My house is usually 22, 23, and it's okay for him, you know. Next thing is another essential for me, another must-have for me. It's a thermometer. Again, my husband brought this. He loves technology and he loves gadgets, so he brought this, and this one is where you link it to your phone. So I think you link it to an iPhone, I think, if I'm not wrong. I've only used it once, and the bottom part either goes underarm, ears, or down, and you check the baby's temperature. I again asked him to buy this because I was very panicky, and every time he was warm I thought he had a temperature, so he went and brought this so that we can check up on his temperature. Like yesterday, for example, Derin had his 2 months vaccinations, and this has been downstairs waiting for me to check his temperature every time he was warm, so must have. Oh my gosh, this is something that I totally love. Even if it was like super expensive, I would still go and buy it. I advise you to go and buy it now. Aiden and Anais blankets. Now these are swaddling blankets, but they are literally used for everything. I use them for swaddling, I use them for burp cloths, I use them to wrap him up. I literally use it for anything that I can, seriously. Now I don't know if it's muslin or muslin cloth. My husband works in a fabric store and he says it's called muslin, and everyone that I know and all the YouTubers that I watch, they call it muslin, so I'm not quite sure. But anyway, this one's 120 to 120 and I love it. Like, I brought the one that had 4 in a pack and I constantly use it. I've been using it since Derin was born, and every single time, every week I'll put it in the wash so like it takes all the dust away. I mean, look at the colour, it's still as fresh, as new as it is, and if they go off then I'll definitely go and buy some more. These are must have, guys. And also, talking about cloths, I have this burp cloth that my aunt brought from Turkey. It's just like a square cloth, and I've got about 20 to 30 downstairs, so we just keep it downstairs. So we'll put this over here, burp him, or if we're feeding him I'll put this under his chin, you know, use it as an apron. It's just super nice, and again, you can use it for anything really. These are all my must-haves, and it's essentials, must-haves. Again, like I said, you can use all of these for even your second child as well. It's definite must-haves. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you've liked it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.